Guys, when it comes to night vision, really having a good setup can be very expensive. We're talking about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and up. And then you start getting your mounts, your helmet, your IR. I mean, it really can add up. So a lot of people were pretty excited when SiOnyx introduced their Aurora. And then they also have a number of other models. But this is digital night vision. This does not replace your PVS-14 if you want something, a real, tactical type setup. But this really has a lot of great features, and it gives you a lot of options. And so we're going to take a look at the SiOnyx Aurora. They do make it at the Pro, they make it in the black. They even make a sport model that's pretty inexpensive. And this will allow you to take video, photo, or you can just observe and see what's going on around you. And there are tactical applications. And we really appreciate Optics Planet for sending the SiOnyx Aurora. You get a 5% discount site-wide using Such. And that definitely helps when you get up to these optics. SiOnyx has really developed some digital night vision, and this is really where night vision is going. It's going to go into more of, instead of the passive night vision like we have with the PVS-14, this will be the future of night vision. Now, a lot of people actually have said this is not night vision, and that's just not true. This is much better than your Gen 1 night vision, and so you have a lot of capability with this optic. Now, if you're looking for something to replace a PVS-14, this is not really it. There's a lot of limitations to this system. But if you don't have that kind of money, I think this makes a great option for being able to see at night. One of the big things that you're going to need, though, is some kind of illumination. You're going to need some IR, and you can get that. Honestly, even with a PVS-14, with total darkness, you're not getting anything. All of them need some kind of ambient light, but one of the things that the SiOnyx needs a little more than your PVS-14. Now, this is the Explorer. It comes in this really nice hard case, close foam padding, all laser cut. You get an IR light, you get a rifle mount, Picatinny mount, you also get a flashlight mount, you get recharging for your battery rechargers, you get all the cables, you get extra batteries, you get some tools. I mean, this thing is really just set up. And so this gives you everything you need to really get started. But again, you can just buy the camera itself for a much better discount. But once you put all these parts together, this really gives you everything you need to get started. Now here I've got the Aurora on the Picatinny mount, and this is in the Explorer package. You can order this separately, but it just fits right onto your rail. You're going to have to put some kind of optic in front, probably a red dot that will be night vision compatible. And then we have a mount for our IR light. And so this gives you a lot of different options to be able to do this. I really like the Explorer package. It gives you a lot of things. It really sets you up. But now we are going to be doing testing with this. There was just so much information with this video. It was just going to be too long. So I really want to kind of dedicate a weapons or tactical application. And so this is going to be part of it. Now here we have the PVS-14. This is from Tribe Defense. This is an Optics Planet exclusive, white phosphorus. And it is an excellent optic, and they're very expensive, as we've seen. And then also we have the Steiner Diebald D2. This is an illuminator and a laser. Laser does green, but also does infrared, and then an infrared light. And this mounts right on your Picatinny rail. Okay, here we are with the standard night vision, no illumination. Fairly clear skies, and there's a little bit of light coming off of our house. But you can see it looks pretty good. Now when you start turning this, you'll see the lag. Now I'm going to turn on the IR illuminator supplied, and you can see it really changes things. Gets down in those dark crevices so you can see really well. Then I'm going to move it over here to these woods. I would say that down there at that can past the tree, that's about 100 yards away. And this is just the fairly inexpensive illuminator that they're supplying. Now I've got a Steiner Diebald, and we're going to look at some of the illumination. We're going to start out with the green laser. Okay, we've got the green laser. Definitely really bright, and that's on the high setting. Here at the low setting, still really good. Now we're going to go to infrared. Here we have infrared. That's the high. And now we have light and laser. Infrared light, very pinpoint. I mean, that is a lot of detail down there. That's pretty fascinating. I think if you really get a good illuminator, and that's on the high, I'm telling you guys, that really is picking up a lot of light down there. And then there's just the illuminator itself, no laser. That's a big difference when you bring out the IR illuminator. A lot more flood with the one that they have, but with the debulb, I mean, you're getting a very pinpoint beam. Now I've got this infrared light going and they can't even see it, but look how it's shining up everything over there.
Uh-oh, somebody's here.
The color is just fantastic with these, with night vision. And down in those woods, want to get an extra bump, we can. Pretty incredible. This is your control button. You have your camera, your video, you have time lapse, you can review your photos, and then you have your settings. It does have a Wi-Fi option on this camera. It does not on the Sport. And you can download the app from SiOnyx and actually stream off of the camera. And it's at 720p. So, you know, it's not super detailed, but it's really good for getting out and getting some decent night vision. The Sport starts out at about like $495, and then when you get the black, I think it's $599, and then it goes up. This is the green, and it is in the Explorer, which has a whole kit with it. A lot of accessories, extra batteries, and I believe it runs about $1,200. They really have a lot of different options there on Optics Planet, and I think it's a great resource. It does have a zoom, but it's a digital zoom. And so, you know, you're not going to quite get the detail, the resolution that you're going to get out of some other cameras. But again, this is night vision. Battery life on here is stated to be about 2 hours. Here at the back, there's a little lever you just pull down and you can just pull off the eyepiece. And this is where your battery is right here. It just pops right out. Let's go ahead and pop it out. And these are really common batteries. This is the XS50. I've got a couple of these I just purchased. It came with 2, and that is with the kit. It has a micro SD card, and it's just right here, and you just press it and it pops out. And I think it has 32 gigabytes, and that's really plenty for 720p. You can really get a lot of video with that. And so it's a really easy system to put together. Everything locks down, your eyepiece goes right back in, which could lead to some other eyepieces later on. It is a hard rubber, and so it's not going to be super soft, but it may help to cushion if you are firing this from a rifle. Right here is a small compartment, and it's rubberized. You just pull that off, and you can charge your camera directly. You can also download video with this, and so this gives you a nice option, and this does come with the cable. The eye relief is really short, so again, this does come with a rifle mount. We'll take a look at it, but you're going to have a very short eye relief. This is rated for 4,000 rounds of 5.56 or 223, and so you do have some capability here, and it will mate with some of your red dots, but you want to get it down to night vision. Here's your record button, and here is your menu settings. Your digital zoom is either side. It will zoom in and out. Right here we have our night vision setting, we have our twilight, and we also have daylight. And so we can just adjust this. Very simple to set to the right place you want to go. Now this is daylight, and I'm going to move it to show you any kind of lag. It's just a little bit. It's not really that bad. Now I'm going to use the digital zoom. You can see as it gets down there, you start to lose some of the resolution. See if I can focus it a little bit more. That's about where I'm at. And then we can bring it out. So we're probably about 75 yards from the range down there. Now this is daylight, but I have it on the night setting. So you can see it does have a whole different color. You can still see the blue of the barrels, but everything else has kind of changed color. Now we're going to go to the twilight setting. Okay, here's twilight. Looks very similar to the daylight setting. And then we're going to go to daylight. That really brightens it up. It's got beautiful rich color, there's no doubt. Now we have our focus ring right here so we can focus in, and then here at the back we have a small diopter so you can set it to your eye. And what that does, it doesn't disrupt the video quality, and this is just the focus here. And so there's just a lot of cool features about this little guy. Down here on the bottom you can attach this even to a tripod pad that'll fit your cameras. It'll go right on it, or of course again there are some other options. And one of the things about this too, guys, there's a lot of companies now that are making parts and accessories to fit this. Now, one of the big things about this camera, it is a rectangular lens. And so your PVS-14 is a tube, it's round, and it doesn't really matter how it sets on your helmet if you're going to use a helmet to wear this. And that's one of the downsides of this camera, is that when you put it on a PVS-14, you have to set it upside down, which you can turn the lens around. And then it actually cocks a little bit to the side. And so it kind of makes it an unusual angle. Now obviously when you mount this to a helmet and you put it to a regular J-arm, or honestly any mount that'll fit the PVS-14, it's going to put your SiOnyx at an angle. And it's actually going to be inverted. You can switch that, you can change it to the other side in the controls. But here you can see that this is going to be a rectangle shape, so it's going to be kind of at an angle. So it's kind of ungainly to be able to use that. There are some aftermarket mounts that you can attach to this that'll bring it straight out, and it'll allow you to actually put two Sonic cameras on there. But as you can see, you know, it's not the best setup. It can be used, and I've seen guys use it, but it's not optimal. And to be honest with you, I was going to do some testing with it, but really it's just not what you need. If you're going to put this on your helmet, you need to have some kind of mount to be able to straighten this out so you can at least see in a correct orientation. And then of course you can add another one if you want, but then you're starting to get up in price. But you know, it is a really cool option. Here mounted on the J-arm, it's going to be kind of at a cant. The screen is going to look this way, and it's going to be very difficult. You're not going to get that full circle that you do with the PVS-14. And so that is going to be an issue. Now one thing about this is if you record this, it's going to be upside down. You can invert all the information on the screen, where you can actually invert the image when you're recording it. This is what you're going to see. It's going to be kind of at this cant, and while it is usable, it's definitely a disadvantage. Guys, if you're wondering about audio, I am using strictly the audio from this camera right now, and I have been using it during the demonstrations. So audio is really good. I mean, it seems to be, when I put it onto my software, seems to work really well. There are a lot of guys that have gotten into these and with the menu and changed some of the exposure settings and some of the different speeds, rate of speed, and things like that that have really optimized this camera. But we really want to hit most of the details. Is this usable? Is this something that you would be looking for? And to me, it does enhance your night vision capability, more as an observation role than necessarily a weapons mount. It's IP67, which means it is water resistant, but it's not waterproof. So guys, overall, I mean, this is an excellent option, especially a budget option, to be able to have night vision capability. You can definitely observe, you can set the camera, you can record and document if you need to. If somebody's messing around your property, you can actually get this on video and they'll never know you're even there. With the IR capability added to this, it really expands the use of this camera. And you don't necessarily have to hit record. I mean, you can just play this. When you want to, you can set it on your setting. You can hit the button if you want to record it, or if you just want to observe, you can do that as well. With the rectangular lens, it's kind of odd to put this on a helmet, a ballistic helmet, if you want to try to, or you know, even a bump helmet, a skull crusher, whatever. I mean, it definitely makes things a little more different when you're shooting kind of at an angle. But from what I understand, with a lot of the mounts and attachments that are becoming available for this, because this has become very popular, you're able to really get the angle that you need. But again, it has a very short eye relief. And so you're going to have to really get it up to your eye. I did hear some people were talking about an eye cup that would come over. For me, even on my PVS 14, I removed that because it's just too cumbersome and it actually causes moisture inside the lens and then it fogs up. So I really don't care for that. But it does give you a lot of eye splash. And so one of the things about this, you're going to bring your eye up closer. You're not going to get as much eye splash, but you are going to get some. And you'll be able to see that without night vision. So that's just one of the downsides. Now coming up, we're going to be doing some live fire shooting. We're going to mount it to the rifle. We're going to shoot it with a pistol. We're going to try some different ways to see the limitations, using it for more tactical applications. Also, we're going to get that mount in and we're going to try it out on our helmet. We really want to find out the capabilities of this little digital night vision camera. So guys, if you just can't afford those PVS 14s, or even if you have that set up already and you want something that you can just take wherever you want to go, you can set it up and you can observe. You can, great for security, great for boating, for hunting, great just to take out and have fun with. This really opens up the night. And while I have heard a number of people say this is not night vision, it shows a lot more than I can see in the dark. And it definitely tops Gen 1 night vision. But definitely has its limitations, but also it has a lot of advantages. And again, we really appreciate Optics Planet for sending the Aurora for this test and evaluation. And again, you get 5% off using Such when you check out site-wide. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. The Optics Planet. And then you can see what's, okay, I don't even know what that is. What is that? For these, I think, what's the name of that group? Plan, whatever. And honestly, this will be with any, this rectangle in this size, okay, in this size, in this, what the heck. And they do make a great option, okay. Or with night sights, okay.